So, welcome this morning. Just sitting down and tuning into yourself, maybe closing your eyes or softening them, and noticing how you're feeling without judgment. I'd like to invite you to have some extra self-compassion this morning as a practice for every morning. The world is on a heightened state, I think, at the moment, and we don't take that into account just with ourselves. So just notice your breath. Notice if it's maybe a little too shallow. Maybe deepen it a little. Deepen the inhale, maybe extend the exhale a little. Our magic tapping into the nervous system. And consider where you can be kinder to yourself. Consider if there's something else that you can do today that will bring more kindness to yourself, whatever it is, however small. Whatever would make you feel more supported and more cared for. And as you inhale, notice your belly fill. And as you exhale, notice it empty. And as you inhale, notice your belly fill and your ribs expand. And as you exhale, notice it all soften. And as you inhale, visualize that air filling the belly, the lower ribs, the upper ribs, right up as though it was filling your head. And as you exhale, see it drift away. Bringing in nourishment and energy and care. And removing any level of tension. And just visualize your breath for a few more rounds. And then just let go of that. Let it be however it wants to be. And slowly make your way down to the mat, lying on your back in Shavasana. Slowly lying down, stretching out your legs. Maybe taking a full body stretch. And then allowing your body to soften a little. Notice how your body rests on the mat. Notice areas that it doesn't quite feel comfortable, that you need to shuffle a little. And then maybe bend your knees and place your feet flat, and then lift the pelvis off the mat and replace it down again, allowing your lower back to come into contact with the mat. And then let your knees come into your chest. And in that position, as you inhale, notice them move away. And as you exhale, notice them come back in. And just acknowledge that motion that's natural. Have a little rock side to side. And let the left foot come down to the mat. And we'll come into our reclined pigeon. So take your right ankle to your left knee. And that may be enough, or lift that left foot off the floor. Keep that right foot flexed. Maybe be holding behind the left thigh. And in that little pigeon, if it feels right to you, have a little rock side to side in that position. Notice the points where you feel increased tension and stretch, and play with that edge a little bit. You don't have to make it as tight and as stretched as possible. Just notice where it is and notice where it feels better to be. And then come to stillness. And leaving your legs in that position, allow them to drop over to the left side. So your right foot comes flat to the floor. So you've got a variation of a twist. You can stretch your arms out if you wish, and maybe take your gaze over to the right. And still encouraging that right thigh away from you. But again, playing with where the edge is. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Just notice the different sensations. I was listening to a session from the Embodiment Conference, which I've been somewhat obsessed about, as you know. And I was listening yesterday, and it was about chronic pain, and it was talking about input and output to the brain. And that sensation of stretch, or in the case of the session in pain, is not the input to the brain. The movement, maybe some tension and stretch, is the input. Your brain's interpretation of what that represents is the output. And then maybe bringing some tension to your abdominal muscles to protect your back, and pull those legs back to centre, coming back to your reclined pigeon, and have that little rock side to side again. And then just maybe release the legs, let the feet go as wide as the mat with the knees bent, and just windshield wiper side to side. And notice how the legs feel different after that movement. Notice if the right hip feels a bit freer. And swap sides. So right foot flat to the mat with the knee bent, and left ankle to right knee. Choosing the point that's right for you. Maybe holding behind the thigh. And if it feels good, have a little rock in that position, side to side. And that rocking movement allows you to play with the sensation just a little bit more. When we're static, we habituate to a sensation. So you stop noticing it so much. And then come to rest. And allow the legs to drop over to the right side, so that left foot comes flat to the mat. Stretch your arms out once again. And take the gaze over to that left hand. And notice the stretch through that left hip. Now, if you have any sciatic problems, you might notice that's a bit uncomfortable. And so don't push it as far. Again, play with the sensations. You shouldn't be doing anything that aggravates. But when we do movements that allow us to feel where our body is, that's always good for us. Notice your breath. Notice if you're holding it, or if it's just in its natural rhythm. And then again, bring the legs back to centre in that same position, and have a little rock again, side to side. And then stretch both legs out back into Shavasana. Okay, we're going to come to a seated position, so your choice, either hands under your knees and a little rock and roll, or gently push yourself to a seated position. Some days I just want to rock and roll. That's how I'd rather be. And swap your legs round. Okay, well, just take a bit of an easy twist here. So if we inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, take left hand to right knee and right hand behind. Inhale back up. And exhale the opposite way. Right hand to left knee. Left hand behind. And just do that and once more on each side, just at your speed. Part of having compassion for ourselves is not keeping up with a class or rushing ahead in a class. It's about finding where it's right for us. And when you're ready, just come back to center. But there is no rush. And pause and notice. And we'll take some side stretches. So left hand down to the mat. Inhale, right arm up and over. And exhale, come back. Change side. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, come back. And again, a couple more of those. Just how it feels nice for you to feel that flowing movement, the speed that's right. Maybe one more each side. And then come to rest. Let's take some circles at the pelvis. And as you come forward, lift the chest forward. And as you go back, arch round. Just waking up some of the fascia. It feels a bit creaky sometimes. And change direction. It's like having a pair of Dr. Martin boots that are a bit too stiff and they need wearing in. And come to rest. And just take the soles of the feet together. And we'll have cobbler pose, butterfly. And inhale and lift through the chest and hinge forwards, just to as far as is right for you, but feel that stretch in the inner thigh. And just drop your head a little. And maybe in that position, just rock a little bit forwards and backwards. Again, just playing with the sensations. Not forcing, not hurting. Just noticing, maybe even rock side to side. And notice where there's more tension or less. And come back up. And we shall meet in tabletop 4-point kneeling pose. So we'll have a little go at wagging our tails to start with. So a little shake side to side and let that move and snake through the body. Moving a little bit intuitively again. Feeling the stretches and then come to rest. Inhale forward slightly. Exhale round through the spine like the cat pose, but go all the way back to child's pose. Inhale, come up, dropping the belly, come to cow. And exhale round through cat, back to child's pose. And just do that a few more times. Notice how you move and where your preferences are. And where your body prefers the sensations. I'm just going to have to take the top layer off. It was a bit chilly in the shed this morning, but I'm a bit warm now. Oh, that's it. And we'll meet back in tabletop. And have a little go at puppy pose. So, keeping the knees under the hips. I don't want you to follow, stick too much to what things look like, but things like knees under the hips are definitely about protecting you, keeping you safe. And then walking the hands forwards and sinking the chest towards the mat. Now, if you need to just drop onto your forearms, that's fine. Find the point that's right for you. Allow the head to come down to the mat if you wish. Keep the arms outstretched if you wish, or drop the forearms down and the elbows down. Find the variation that feels good. Feel a stretch across the shoulders and across the belly. And maybe have a little wiggle, shaking your tail side to side here. Then if they're not dropped, drop your elbows so that you can walk your hands back and come back up to tabletop. Lovely. Okay. So from your tabletop, take your hands one full hand forwards, tuck the toes. We're heading for downward dog, but we're going to hover the knees, push the hips back, hips and glutes towards the sky, and straighten your legs coming into your downward dog. Remember to push into your fingertips. Remember to keep your knees soft. And then just maybe pedal. And just notice how your back moves and how your hip moves, because in the downward dog that we're looking for a long spine, and sometimes when I straighten my legs I have to round my spine a bit. It won't stay long. So I'm not saying you have to correct it, I'm just saying you need to be noticing it. And then slowly walk your toes towards your hands, coming into a ragdoll. Knees bent or soft. And then I want you to sweep your arms up. We're going to come up into chair. Utkatasana, just to wake up those thighs. And in your chair, make sure you rock the weight back into the heels rather than the toes. And then release. We're just going to run through a one round of sun salutation C. So, coming to the top of the mat, or our version of it anyway, coming into your mountain pose, and to start with, again, just check your foot position and notice where your weight is. Your back is much better protected, your knees are much better protected if your weight is towards the heels, not the toes. And we have a terrible tendency to push it into the toes. So today, thinking about self-compassion and care, I want to draw your attention to that. So inhale and sweep the arms up and have a gentle back bend in your extended mountain. And on the next exhale, come down into a forward fold. And just pause in your forward fold. Maybe stretch one leg a little and then the other. Straighten slightly but not locked. Then step the right leg back and drop the right knee to the mat, sinking your hips. Your choice with your toes, but we'll rise up into a low lunge. And just have a couple of breaths here. Feel your hips sinking. And take the hands back to the mat. Tuck the toes and send the left foot back to join the right, coming into plank. Drop the knees to the mat. Shift forwards and lower down to the mat. I'm going to pause here for a sphinx. So, taking your arms out in front of you, coming onto your elbows, elbows under shoulders, arms parallel. Checking maybe touching the opposite shoulder so you know where your arms are. And lifting through the chest. Feel that stretch across the back, across the front. Release the elbows out, hands under the shoulders, push back up through table, tuck the toes and come up into downward facing dog. And breathe. And move how your body would like you to move. On the next inhale, we're going to step the right foot forwards, all the way to the front, however it gets there, and drop the left knee. Reaching up into that low lunge on the opposite side. Sinking at the hips. Hands to the mat, tuck the toes and step that foot forward, back into your forward fold. And again, just notice where your weight is in your feet. Keep the knees soft and then inhale, sweep the arms all the way back up to our extended mountain. And release. And just pause. And notice how you feel. Have a little jiggle and a wiggle. Have a little shake. Shake your hands. Shake your arms. Shake your hands up. Add in a leg. Add in another leg. And come to rest. Feel that energy coming through your body. Okay. Coming undone on my microphone. So we're going to come into warrior 2. So left toes towards the short edge of the mat. Bring the right foot in. Hips are sort of forwards. Take the arms across the body and then sweep them out, coming into your warrior 2. And breathe. Notice different parts of your body. Start with your feet. Where are you resting the weight in each foot? Where is the tension in each leg? Are you able to allow that left hip to be open? Are you strong through your center, through your abdomen? What about your shoulders? Are they away from your ears? And breathe. And where do you feel your inner warrior? Where do you need a bit of help for your warrior? Maybe in your life. Okay, we're going to shift a little bit to the left. Straighten and turn into triangle. As far as you wish, as low as you wish. Notice the stretch. Notice where the sensations are strongest. Maybe take your gaze up. Notice your breath. And bend that left knee and come back up to warrior 2. Ooh, just drop your arms a little. Give them a little shake. And come back. We'll reverse it. So drop the right hand, turn the left palm, reverse that warrior. Notice, does the shoulder need to come back? Notice where the stretch is down the left side. Notice if your back leg's wobbly or your front. And come back. Warrior 2. Turn. Interlace the fingers behind and lift through the chest and find your humble warrior. Notice here if it feels strong. And if it's too strong, pull back a bit. Then release your hands to the mat. turn the feet and come into a wide-legged forward fold. Such a nice counter. Use blocks or bricks if you wish. But come onto your fingertips and inhale and lengthen to a flat spine. And exhale and fold. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and fold. One more. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and fold. Now just bring the feet in a little. Keep the toes pointed out. Bend the knees, coming into your goddess, because I know you love it. Find the hand position you wish. Maybe pulse a little. Find the edge of your goddess. And release. Whoo. Let's do that on the other side. So setting up for our warrior legs first. Hands across the body. Just have that little hug. We're all a bit hug deficient at the moment. And sweep the arms out and find your warrior two. Again, notice the sensations. Where in your body? Start at the feet. Are you pushing into the outer edge of that back foot? Have you got too much weight in your toes? Where is it strong? We're going to shift a little right, straighten, and turn into triangle. And feel that in the inner thigh. Maybe take your gaze up. Notice if it feels different than it did on the other side. And notice your breath. And bend that right knee and push back. Warrior two. Going back to feeling that inner warrior. And where you've been using it in your life. Where your strength has been showing itself. Notice that. We're going to reverse, so drop the left hand, turn the right palm and reverse. And breathe. And again, does it feel different? And release and come back to warrior two. Don't crunch up your shoulders though, let that tension go. Turn, interlace, lift through the chest and find your humble warrior this side. Taking the arms as high as you wish. And then release the hands down to the mat, coming back in to that wide-legged forward fold. This time, take the right hand to the centre and we're going to reach the left hand to the sky in a little twist. Notice if there's a different stretch sensation in each thigh from that. And release. Leave the left hand at the centre and take the right hand up to the sky. And release. Now you're going to love this. Just walk the feet in a little, not to hip width, point out the toes, and I think you've missed yogi squat. So, nice flat spine, stay low, bend the knees and drop the hips down into your yogi squat. Blankets under your heels if you need. Lift through the chest. And notice if your weight is in your heels. That's where you want it. And breathe. Notice if you're enjoying that sensation in your hips. Hands to the mat, lift the hips and walk the toes into hip width. and sweep up into chair. And release. Oh, just have a little shake. Okay, so shift your weight into your right leg. And we're going to take our tree a little bit differently, a little bit more mindfully today. Watch that you don't sink into your hip. So you just test that out, see where the sink is, and then rise out of it. Bring in your left heel to your right ankle. And then slide the foot up if you want it to come up to the calf. Notice if you've got a wobble on, that's okay. Stand by a door frame if you wish. Slide it higher if you wish, not putting any pressure on the knee, but keeping that left upper leg rotated outwards, so pointed towards the side. Find your tree. And then maybe close your eyes for a slightly longer blink. Just a long blink, not a long time. Just notice the impact on your balance. And release. And just pause and notice. Notice the sensations in that hip now, that right hip, and if it's different. And swap sides. So shift the weight, find your wiggle, find your sink so that you can come out of your sink. Strong quads, slide your leg. Bring it higher if you wish. Find your hand placement. And if you are curious, take a slightly longer blink. And it's quite immediate, the impact on balance, because our nervous system needs to integrate all the signals it's got. And release. Have a little wiggle and a shake. Whew. Okay, we're going to come straight down to tabletop. If you fancy doing a dragon, we're going to take the right foot to the outside of the right hand. We're going to take the left knee as far back as feels good for us today. Turn that right foot out 45 degrees and allow the wing of the dragon to drop. And first we're going to just lift through the chest. And breathe, letting your dragon fly. And notice the sensations, which I'm sure you can feel. And then slowly, if you wish, you can drop down to your forearms or onto a cushion or blocks on your forearms. And let your dragon have a little snooze. Sleepy lockdown dragon. And maybe just in your snoozy dragon, you can just move a little bit side to side to explore those sensations, but very gently. Then, coming back up to your hands, and your right wing is out, your right leg. So you're going to take your right hand to your right thigh and turn your body towards it. Your twisted dragon. Maybe taking the gaze behind you. Maybe sinking the left hip a little lower. And release your hands. Push back a little bit. Allow your right leg to come back in and your foot to turn, and straighten that right leg just for a counter stretch. And release your right leg and push back to child's pose. Have a little rock side to side. Okay, come back and take the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Take the right knee as far back as is comfortable for you today. Turn that left foot out 45 degrees and allow that left wing to drop open. And stay high to start your flying dragon. And then maybe lowering to your forearms or onto a cushion or blocks for your snoozy dragon. Have a little gentle rock in that position. And notice those sensations and don't push it. We're being kind to ourselves today. And come back up to your hands. So your left dragon wing is open. So turn towards that left leg and place your left hand on the left thigh for your twisted dragon. Feeling your right hip drop a little bit lower. And release, help that leg come back in, the wing comes in, the foot turns round, and straighten that left leg just for that counter stretch. Then release that leg and push back to child's pose. Oh, joy of joys. And come to a seated position. And stretch your legs out in front of you. Just give them a little jiggle and a shake. And we'll have a twist. Lord of the Fishes or half Lord of the Fishes. So first of all, bend the left leg. Left foot over right leg. Your choice with the right leg. It stays out straight or it bends in. Just make sure you're sitting on both sit bones. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, wrap it round that left leg. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, take it down and behind. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and twist. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and twist. And just breathe. To come out, release the head, the back arm, the front arm, and then have a little counter twist. Nice juicy counter twist the other way. And swap sides. So bend the right knee, right foot over left leg. Your choice with the lower leg. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, wrap it round that right knee. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, behind. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and twist. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and twist. And breathe. To release, let the head come first. Then the back arm, then the front, and just have that little counter twist. Lovely. Okay, we're going to move down to the mat through boat because we love it. So, we'll get boat ready. Lift the lower legs. Take the hands out beside. And you can straighten and go into low boat if you wish, but without going down to the mat. And you can come back into high boat. And have a go into low boat. And come back into high boat. And go down to low boat. Oh, and just bring your knees into your chest and have a little rock side to side. Then grab your strap for our flamenco. So, strap around the right leg. Your left leg can stretch out, or you can bend it at the knee if you wish. So right foot is extended up to the ceiling, strap is around it, and you're holding the strap as high up as you can in the right hand so that it takes the least amount of energy in that right arm. So you don't want to lock the knee, but you want to feel that stretch down the back of the leg. And the only job you've got to do then is let the rest of your body relax. And wet noodle. And if you've got a little shake going on in your leg, that's absolutely fine as well. We'll have a few breaths here. Two more breaths. Okay, keeping your hand where it is, let that leg move right out to the right side. So you're keeping it sort of straight but not locked. You're still holding. You can let it rest on a cushion, but notice the shift in the tension in the muscles of the leg. And a few breaths here. Practices like this are just one of the things that we need to do to bring self-nurturing and compassion. There's so many different things, and it isn't one thing that will help. One thing will add to the help. So, what you eat also adds to the help, the care, the nourishment. Okay, bring that leg back up to the ceiling and swap the strap into the left hand and let the leg go over the body. Now this is a much stronger stretch, and so you'll find your legs much further away, but it's across the body. A few breaths here. And release, and just bring your knees into your chest, and notice there the difference in how your legs feel. Just let them circle a little, just moving them and recognizing that there's a different sensation because of that last movement, those last movements with the strap. And we'll swap sides. So strap around the left foot. Stretch the right leg out, holding the strap as high up as you can with the left hand so you've got the least amount of energy. Okay, not locking it, just letting it be soft at the knee, but with tension in the leg. You may have that shake again. And a few breaths here. Couple more breaths. And then allow that leg to go out to the left, still holding with the least amount of energy. Notice the shift in sensations. And just a few breaths here. And then bring that leg back to centre. Swap the strap into your right hand and take the leg across the body. Again, it's much stronger. Just a few breaths here. And release. Just bring your knees into your chest. Have a little rock side to side. And we'll take our legs into a happy baby. So, feet up to the ceiling, knees bent. Take the knees wider than the body. And then reach up the inside of the knees and take hold of the outside of the feet or the big toes. And if you wish, you can have a little rock in your happy baby. Just noticing the sensations. And then release the feet down to the mat. Keep them a bit wider than the hips and just let them windshield wiper side to side. Then the next time your knees drop into the centre with your right knee, next time they drop into the centre, stop and take I'll have to say that again. Next time your knees are pointing towards the left, take your left heel to your right knee just to increase that internal rotation. Another aeroplane. And release, let the knees move side to side, and then next time they drop to the right, let them stop and take the right heel to the left knee. And release. We'll just have a little bridge. So knees bent, feet close to the sit bones. Inhale and take a dynamic bridge, arms up and over. Lift the hips. Exhale, lower and arms down. Inhale, arms up and over, lift the hips. Exhale, all comes down. Inhale up and exhale down. Just bring your knees into your chest, and then I invite you to grab a bolster or a cushion or something to put under your hips so that you can have your legs in the air. I'm going to sit up, but I want you to stay with your legs in the air. And try and tune into your breath. Notice if you can maybe extend the exhale, bringing your parasympathetic nervous system into action. And that helps your brain integrate all of those signals, those messages, those pathways that have been activated. And we'll just have a few more breaths here. And then slowly, as you're ready, allow your legs to come down, maybe pushing your cushion or bolster to under your knees. Maybe pulling a blanket on top of you, maybe pulling socks on, anything for your relaxation, your Shavasana. And just allowing yourself this few minutes. As we now reach the end of our physical practice, it's time to lay aside those expectations and breathe. As you settle onto your mat, I invite you to lay down the to-do lists and find rest for body, mind and soul. As you relax into a comfortable position, I invite you to focus your attention on the life-giving energy that is flowing through your body, through the 7 chakras, the main energy centers of the body. I invite you to bring your attention to your root chakra, Muladhara, located at the base of your spine. Lay aside all those distractions of the world around which threaten your stability, and remind yourself of what it is to feel grounded, confident of your sure foundation. I invite you to bring your attention to your sacral chakra, Svadhisthana, located about 5 centimeters below the navel. Lay aside all those dissatisfactions of the world around which threaten your sense of abundance. Remind yourself of what it is to feel content, confident that you have everything you need. I invite you to bring your attention to your solar plexus chakra, Manipura, within the upper abdomen. Lay aside all those situations of the world around which threaten your self-confidence. Remind yourself of what it is to feel assured, confident that you've got this. I invite you to bring your attention to your heart chakra, Anahata, located in the center of your chest, just above the heart. Lay aside all those interactions of the world which threaten your peace, and remind yourself of what it is to feel whole, confident in your ability to give and receive love. I invite you to bring your attention to your throat chakra, Vishuddha, located at the throat. Lay aside all those communications of the world which threaten your integrity. Remind yourself of what it is to feel authentic, confident to express yourself truly and clearly. I invite you to bring your attention to your third eye chakra, Ajna, located at the forehead between the eyes. Lay aside all those superficialities of the world which threaten your perceptiveness, and remind yourself of what it is to feel intuitive and confident in your innate wisdom. And finally, I invite you to bring your attention to your crown chakra, Samsara, located at the very top of your head. Lay aside all those motivations of the world which threaten your spirituality, and remind yourself of what it is to feel connected, confident of your inner beauty. Now, as you return your awareness to this space, know that everything you've laid down can stay there and only pick up what do you need. Wiggle your toes and wiggle your fingers. Take a full body stretch. Deepen your inhale and your exhale. Maybe pull the knees into the chest and rock side to side. And slowly push yourself up to a seated position. Coming back to the room. Brush the skin on your legs and the skin on your arms. And plan one thing that you will do to bring compassion to yourself today. Take your hands to the mat if you wish, and as you inhale, sweep them wide and overhead, bringing the palms together and down through heart center. Thank you for joining us today in this practice. Namaste.